Hi guys, and welcome back to a new episode of this series where we are going through all the CodingBat Java challenges. Now last time we have already got familiar with the platform and started with the first couple of warm-up exercises. So now we are going to continue with the first part of these warm-up challenges. Let's get straight into it with the problem posNeg. Here we are given two integer values, so whole numbers, and we should return true if one of them is negative and one is positive. Except if the parameter negative is true, in this case we should return true only if both are negative. If you are unsure about booleans, then take a look at our last video where we have explained what are these data types. Now in this case, first we should check if this boolean value, negative, is true or false. So if negative is true, then we are going to check if both integers are negative. So if a is smaller than 0 and also b is smaller than 0, in this case we are going to return true. Otherwise, we are going to return here false. Okay, now let's see what happens if this variable negative is not true, so if it is false. In this case, we are going to check if one of the two integers is negative and the other one is positive. So if a is negative and b is positive, or a is positive and b is negative. Just like that. And also this other bracket missing here. So in that case, we are going to return true, and otherwise, of course, we want to return false. So let's see if our solution is correct. Yes, all the tests were completed successfully, so we are done with this problem. Let's now move on to the next one. Now we are given a string, and we should return a new string where not has been added to the front. However, if the string already begins with not, then we should return the string itself unchanged. We also have a hint here. We can use the method equals to compare two strings. So keep in mind, when you're comparing two strings, then you're not just simply using the two equality marks, just like if you would compare two integers, for example, but instead you are using the equals method. So first thing first, in order to avoid any type of index out of bounds exceptions, of course, we should check the length of the string. So let's see what happens if the length of this string is smaller than 3. Now in that case, of course, it cannot contain not at the beginning, so we should automatically return not plus the string itself. Otherwise, we can check if the string contains not, so we take the substring of the first 3 characters and we check if it equals not. If yes, if it equals not, then we just simply return the string itself, and otherwise we are again going to return not plus this string given in the parameters. And as you can see, all the tests have been run successfully, so we have passed this challenge. Just keep in mind, anytime that you are checking for a substring or a character inside of a string, then test the length of those strings so that you can avoid these index out of bounds exceptions. So let's move on to the next one. We are given a non-empty string, so basically we do not have to check if the string equals null or if it is empty. Our exercise is to return a new string where the character at index n has been removed. And also the value of n will be a valid index of a character in the original string. So n will be in the range from 0 until length -1 of this string. Now you can see in this particular exercise, in this particular case, we do not have to check if the index is outside of the string bounds. So it is basically a requirement for those n values to be inside of those bounds. Normally, it is always better to double check these things, but now, for the simplicity of this exercise, we are just going to skip this part and start by solving this problem. So now, basically, we should separate our string into two substrings, one from the beginning until this nth character, and one from the nth character until the end of the string. So we are going to return two substrings. The first one is going to be starting at the beginning of the word, ending at the nth index, of course exclusive, and the second one is going to be starting from n plus 1, so n is again excluded. Basically the nth character is in this case being removed, and it's going to end at the end of this string, so at length. And as you can see, we have passed all these tests, so we are all good to go and can move on to the next exercise. Now in this problem, frontBack, we are given a string and we should return a new one where the first and the last characters have been exchanged. In this case, first thing first, we should again check the number of characters that this string has, so basically the length of this string. Because as you can see, if the string is either empty or has only one character, then we should only basically return the string itself, because an A exchanged with an A is still an A. So we are just going to check if the length of this string is smaller or equals than 1. In that case, we are just going to return the string itself, and otherwise we are going to take the first character, so string char at index 0, and the last one, string char at length -1. And we are just going to simply exchange them by returning the last one, then a substring of the original string where both the first and the last characters are cropped. So substring starting from 1, meaning that we are going to remove the first character, and it will end at length -1 excluded, so the last one will also be removed, the last character will also be removed. And of course we are also going to add this first character here. So you can see all of the tests are correct, and we can move on to the next one. Now we are again given a string, and we will say that the front is the first 3 characters of that string. If the length is less than 3, then the front is whatever is there. We should return a new string, which is 3 copies of the front. So first, we should check if the length of the string is smaller than 3. Because in that case, we are going to return 3 times the string itself. So string plus string plus string, because the string is already the front. And otherwise, we don't have to check the length of the string again, because we know that the substring of the first 3 characters will be valid. So now we are going to create a new string, front, which will be a substring of the original string, starting from 0, ending at index 3 excluded. So that's going to be the front of the word, the first 3 characters, and that's what we are going to return 3 times. Okay, small typo here. And as you can see, all of the tests are correct, so we are good to go. Let's take a look at the next challenge, backAround, where we are again given a string. We should take the last character and return a new string with the last character added at the front and the back. So cat yields t cat t. The original string will be length 1 or more. Since we know that we can automatically extract that last character, so char last is going to be char at length -1. And we are just simply going to return this character plus the string itself plus this character again. And you can see that was it. It wasn't a very difficult problem in this case. Let's see the next one. Now we should return true if the given non-negative number is a multiple of 3 or a multiple of 5. And there's also a hint for us. We can use this mod operator in order to check if a number is a multiple of another number. So if the given number n is a multiple of 3 or 5, meaning that if we divide it by 3, then the rest will be 0, or if we divide it by 5, then the rest will be 0. In that case, we are just going to return true, and otherwise we are going to return false. Yes, that was it. All the tests are correct. Now we again have a string, and we should take the first 2 characters and return the string with the 2 characters added at both the front and the back. So this is very similar to one of the previous challenges, but now we should not only take a character, but a substring of 2 characters. And if the string length is less than 2, then we should just use whatever chars are there. So first, let's see if the length of that string is less than 2. In that case, basically, we are just going to return 3 times the string. And otherwise, we are going to extract these first 2 characters. So we are going to take a substring of the string, starting at 0, ending at 2, at index 2, and we are going to return these first 2 characters, the string, and again the first 2 characters. And as you can see, everything is correct. Let's just stop here and leave some more challenges for the rest of the series. I hope that you have enjoyed the problems we have solved today. If you have any sort of questions, feel free to ask me in the comment section. Also, I am very happy to hear about your feedback, so don't forget to mention it down below. I really appreciate it if you leave a like and subscribe to my channel. With that being said, see you in the next video.